Do you really think she's happy? Do you honestly believe she's forgotten you? That she's moved on, living a life so fulfilling she no longer cares about the past? And that very thought is tearing you apart. But let me tell you something that might change everything. What you're seeing, it's an illusion. That perfect image she's projecting, it's just a mask, a carefully crafted facade designed to make you believe she's thriving without you. But here's the truth that most men fail to recognize. If she truly didn't care, she wouldn't need to prove anything. She posts more, smiles brighter, flaunts her new life. Not because she's over you, but because she wants you to see it. And if she wants you to see it, a part of her still cares. But this is where you fall into the trap. You analyze every post, overthink every detail, convince yourself she's found someone better, and that's exactly what weakens you, because the more you react, the more power you give her over your emotions. And this is where Stoicism comes in. A strong man doesn't seek validation. He doesn't stalk her profile, doesn't flinch at the mention of her name, doesn't ask mutual friends, "Who is she with now?" Because the man who controls his emotions is the man she will never forget. So the real question is, are you ready to break free from this illusion? Are you ready to stop letting her existence dictate your emotions? If your answer is yes, then you're ready to see the truth. Before we begin, let's spread the Stoic mindset. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on powerful content. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a 1 in the comments. If you think I can improve, comment too. I'm always open to feedback. Now, let's dive into the first lesson. 1. The truth about her happiness. You see the flawless pictures, the radiant smiles, the carefully curated moments, each one designed to make you believe she's thriving without you. And like a moth drawn to a flame, you fall for the illusion. You convince yourself she's truly happy, that she's moved on, that you're nothing more than a faded memory, a closed chapter in her life. But let me tell you something most men never realize. That's not how human psychology works. If she were truly happy, she wouldn't need to prove it. Because real happiness? It's silent. It doesn't need an audience. What you're witnessing isn't happiness. It's a performance, a carefully crafted facade, a desperate attempt to control the narrative, to convince you before she has to convince herself. But deep down, in the moments when no one is watching, when the cameras are off, when the world is quiet, that's when the truth surfaces. That's when she feels the emptiness. That's when she comes face to face with what's missing. And that emptiness, it only grows when she realizes you're no longer paying attention. This is where the power shift happens, because the most powerful move you can make is to do nothing. No reaction, no jealousy, no need to prove you're doing better. Because when she sees that her performance no longer affects you, that's when the questions begin. That's when the doubt creeps in. That's when she starts wondering, did I really move on? Did I lose something real? And here's the truth. The moment you stop watching is the moment she starts feeling. So don't feed the illusion. Don't let a highlight reel manipulate your emotions. Let her wonder. Let her question. Let her feel the absence of your presence. Because the man who can walk away, the man who is unshaken, is the man she will never forget. If you're ready to break free from the illusion, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And comment below, I don't react, I remain the same, unshaken. 2. Emotional control, your strongest weapon, right now. She thinks she has you figured out. She believes she can predict your every move, that she knows exactly how you'll react when you see her living her best life. without you. She expects you to crack. She expects you to stalk her profile, check out the new guy, overanalyze every post. She expects you to fall apart the moment you see her laughing, flaunting a seemingly perfect life. But here's the question. What happens when you do nothing? What happens when you remain silent, when you don't flinch? That's when the power shifts. Because there's one undeniable truth Stoicism teaches. The one who controls their emotions controls the game, and the moment you stop reacting, you become untouchable. She can post as many pictures as she wants. She can try to make you jealous. She can do everything in her power to trigger a reaction out of you. But what happens when she gets nothing? That's when she starts to feel uneasy. That's when she starts questioning everything. Why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he watching? Why isn't he falling apart like I expected? And this is where psychology takes over. Because here's how the human mind works. We crave validation. We seek attention. We want recognition. And when you deny her that, when you become an unshakable force of indifference, that's when she starts chasing you. Think about it. What's more attractive? A man who is emotionally fragile, who breaks down at every challenge, or a man who is calm, grounded, and completely unshaken? You already know the answer. She won't regret losing you when she sees you suffering. She'll regret losing you when she realizes you're no longer affected. That's when regret hits. That's when the mind games backfire. And suddenly, the roles are reversed. She's no longer the one controlling the narrative. She's no longer the one in power. She's no longer the one dictating the emotions in this story. You are. So don't let her live in your head rent-free. Don't let your emotions become her playground. You are stronger than that. If you're ready to take back control, if you're done being predictable, comment below. I own my emotions. I control the game. 3. The illusion of being replaced. You see her with someone new, and it hits you. Your mind starts spinning. How did she move on so fast? What does he have that I don't? And just like that, you fall into the biggest trap of all, believing that you can be replaced. That's not how it works. Here's what you need to understand. People don't replace each other. They distract themselves. When someone jumps into a new relationship immediately after a breakup, it's not because they've found something better. It's because they're running. Running from the emptiness, running from the silence, running from the emotions they refuse to face. And here's the key. The faster they move on, the more they're in denial. Because a rebound relationship isn't about love, it's about escape. It's a shield against loneliness. It's a temporary distraction from the void they don't want to acknowledge. And here's the best part. The moment she stops running, the moment she slows down, the moment she looks back, that's when regret crushes her. Because real connections don't just disappear overnight. They linger. They echo, and one day, that echo will be louder than ever. But here's where you go wrong. You turn this into a competition. You watch. You react. You fuel the illusion that she's happier now. Stop. Stop giving away your power. Because the truth is this. If she had truly moved on, you wouldn't even be thinking about it. She would be nothing but a closed chapter in your mind. But the reality, you're still here. You're still wondering. You're still torturing yourself. And that's your problem, not hers. So let her do what she wants. Let her pretend. Let her run. Because while she's busy trying to fill the void, you'll master something she can't fake. Peace. And that is what makes you irreplaceable. If you refuse to buy into the illusion, if you refuse to play the game, comment below. I am irreplaceable. 4. The power of absence. She expects you to linger. She expects you to check in, to leave a trace, to give her just a little sign that you're still there. Because that's what most men do. They disappear for a while, but then their emotions pull them back. They can't cut off contact. They drown in nostalgia. They give their power away. But you're not like most men, because you're about to understand one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. Absence creates value. The harder something is to access, the more it's desired. That's why luxury brands don't beg for attention. That's why the rarest things in life hold the highest value. And guess what? That rule applies to you too. Because the moment she realizes that you're truly gone, no watching, no reacting, no orbiting her life like a lost satellite, that's when she starts to feel your absence. And here's the thing about the human mind. It hates unanswered questions. It craves closure. It seeks validation. So when you disappear without a trace, it plants a seed of doubt in her mind. What if I was wrong? What if he was the best thing I ever had? And suddenly, the roles are reversed. She's the one wondering. She's the one feeling the emptiness. She's the one realizing what she lost. But here's the real trick. You don't do this for her. You don't stay silent as some cheap tactic to manipulate her into coming back. You do this for you, because the moment you prioritize your own growth, because the moment you choose your own peace, because the moment you focus on your own life, that's when you become untouchable. And at that point, her regret, her curiosity, her sense of loss, they're no longer your problem, they're hers. So disappear, not as a strategy, not for revenge, but because you finally understood your own worth. If you're ready to be remembered, if you're done waiting, comment below, "My absence is my power." 5. Rebuild without revenge. Right now you might be thinking, I want her to regret losing me. I want her to see me thriving and feel the pain she put me through. And you know what? That's normal. It's a natural reaction. But it's also the mindset of a man who is still stuck. Because here's the truth. Revenge is just another form of attachment. If you're still trying to prove something to her, if you're still crafting your success for her to see, then you're still playing by her rules, and that means she still owns a piece of you. But that's not how a Stoic man operates. A Stoic man doesn't build himself up to make her jealous. A Stoic man doesn't rebuild his life so she realizes what she lost. He does it because he refuses to stay broken. Because he understands one fundamental truth. The strongest flex isn't proving someone wrong. It's not needing to prove anything at all. She expects you to compete. She expects you to start posting, showing off, trying to shine, just to get a reaction. But the strongest men don't act to be seen. They act because their growth is real. They step into their power, silently and consistently, without seeking validation. And that, more than anything, is what makes regret hit the hardest. Because one day, she will look back. She'll check in. She'll expect to see a man who's still hurting, still reacting, still chasing a ghost. But instead, she'll see a man who has changed, a man who is stronger, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, a man who no longer needs her absence as motivation, a man who is driven by something far greater. And when she sees that, that's when she'll feel the real loss. Because nothing is more powerful than a man who has outgrown the past. So let go of revenge. Let go of trying to make her regret. Do the work, not for her, not for some imagined "I told you so" moment, but for the man you were always meant to become. If you're ready to grow for yourself, If you're done seeking validation, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I grow for me, not for them. 6. The art of not caring. You've been conditioned to believe that caring is power, that if you just love hard enough, if you show enough emotion, if you prove how much she meant to you, she'll come back. That's a lie, because here's the brutal truth. Caring too much is the fastest way to lose respect. It makes you predictable, it makes you easy to manipulate, and worst of all, it makes you needy. And let me ask you this. When was the last time you saw a woman chase a man who needed her? They don't. They chase the men who don't need anyone. Now, let's be clear. Not caring doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean being bitter. It means becoming detached. It means mastering emotional discipline, where nothing outside of you can shake the peace within you. And once you reach that level of control, that's when people start gravitating toward you. Because think about it. A man who isn't desperate for attention, a man who doesn't crumble from loss, a man who moves forward because he chooses to, not because he has to. That's the rarest kind of man. And what's rare is valuable. So don't be surprised when she tests you, when she tries to provoke a reaction, just to see if she still has control over you. When she pretends to reach out, not because she truly wants you back, but because she wants to know she can still have you. Because here's the thing, a woman doesn't feel loss when a man cries for her. She only feels loss when that man stops thinking about her. And the moment she realizes you genuinely don't care anymore, that's when regret becomes real. So let go, detach. Not to hurt her, not to prove anything, but because a man who controls his emotions controls everything. If you're done giving away your power, if you refuse to be controlled by attachment, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release all that no longer serves me. 7. Turn pain into power. Right now, you feel it. That weight in your chest, the sleepless nights, the endless thoughts looping back to her. You tell yourself you're fine. You convince yourself you've moved on. But deep down, there's still a part of you that hurts, that wonders, that's stuck. But here's what most men never understand. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your fuel. Stoicism teaches one undeniable truth. Suffering only exists when you resist it. The moment you stop fighting it, the moment you stop running from it, and instead face it head on, that's when everything changes, because pain has a purpose, to make you stronger. Think about the greatest men in history, the warriors, the leaders, the legends. None of them were forged in comfort. They weren't built in ease, they were shaped in struggle. And what separates them from the weak? They didn't let pain break them, they transformed it. Right now you have two choices. 1. Sit in your pain and let it consume you. 2. Take that same energy and channel it into something greater. Build the body you've always wanted. Master your mind. Create a version of yourself so powerful that nothing can shake you. And here's the thing, one day you'll look back and thank her for leaving. Because this pain, it didn't come to destroy you. It came to wake you up. It's forcing you into a level of growth you never would have reached without it. And once you rise above it, once you transcend it, you won't just move past her. You'll surpass the man you used to be. So don't wish it never happened. Accept it. Use it. Because the strongest men aren't the ones who avoid pain, they're the ones who own it. If you're ready to turn pain into power, if you refuse to let this break you, comment below, I turn pain into power. 8. She will feel your absence. Right now, she doesn't feel your loss. because she still believes you're there. She thinks that even in your silence, you're still thinking about her, still emotionally attached in some way. But what happens when she realizes you're truly gone? When she feels deep in her soul that you've moved on without looking back? That's when the regret begins. Because here's something most men never understand. Women don't feel the loss of a man immediately. At first, she's distracted. She's excited about her new reality. She's confident that she made the right choice. But then, silence starts to creep in. The messages she once ignored, they're gone. The man she thought would always be there, vanished. And that's when it hits her. She didn't just lose a boyfriend. She lost a presence, because men like you don't come around often. A man who loves deeply, a man who gives genuinely, a man who has the strength to walk away. That's rare. And as more time passes, she starts to realize it wasn't just your presence that mattered. It was how you showed up in her life. It was how you made her feel. It was how you stood firm, held your ground, and carried an energy no one else could replace. And that's when she'll check in. Maybe it's a random text. Maybe it's a like on an old photo. Maybe it's a mutual friend casually mentioning that she asked about you. And what do? Nothing. Because you don't chase ghosts. You don't look back. And the moment she realizes she can't get a reaction out of you, that's when she truly feels the loss. But by then, it's too late. Because the man she walked away from no longer exists. You've evolved. You've grown. You've leveled up. And the best part, you don't even want her back anymore. Because once you've built the life you deserve, you never settle for the one you had to heal from. So if you refuse to be someone's option, if you refuse to be a backup plan, comment below, I am unforgettable. The final lesson, becoming untouchable. This is the moment everything changes. The moment you stop asking, does she miss me? Will she ever regret leaving? Is she thinking about me? And instead, you realize, it doesn't matter, because the man you've become doesn't wait for validation. He doesn't seek closure. He doesn't need her regret to confirm his worth. This is true Stoicism. Absolute emotional freedom. No more overthinking. No more checking in. No more secretly hoping she wakes up one day and realizes she lost something valuable. Because you already know she lost. But here's the most important difference between who you were and who you are now. You no longer care. You no longer wait for her to feel your absence. You don't sit around hoping she comes back. Why? Because you have outgrown her. Because you've reached a level where her absence is no longer a wound. It has become peace. And that is when you know you've won. Because the strongest men aren't the ones who get their exes back. They're the ones who are too focused, too disciplined, too elevated, to even consider taking them back, even if they beg. Because they understand something most men never will. When you master yourself, you master the game. So walk away, not as a strategy, not to make her regret. Walk away because finally, you know your worth. Because you no longer waste time on those who failed to see your value. Because the man you've become, he doesn't need her. He doesn't need closure. He doesn't need anything but himself. And that is what makes you untouchable. If you're ready to leave the past behind, if you're done chasing what no longer serves you, comment below. I am free. In my view, the greatest power after a relationship isn't about winning someone back. It's about mastering yourself. What you see on social media, the smiles, the glamorous moments, is nothing more than a surface-level illusion. Because if someone is truly happy, they don't need to broadcast it. They don't need to prove it. They don't need an audience, because real happiness, it's peace, not a performance. And when you stop caring about those images, when you no longer react, when you no longer let emotions control you, that's when you truly take control. Silence is your greatest weapon. People crave attention, and when you stop responding, they start questioning. Why isn't he watching? Why isn't he reacting? Why doesn't he care? But understand this, silence isn't about manipulation, it's about strength. Because the moment you no longer care about what she's doing, you regain your power. You cannot be replaced. No one replaces anyone. They're just trying to fill a void. And relationships that happen too quickly, they aren't built on love. They aren't built on connection. They're built on loneliness. But distraction isn't healing. And one day, when she finally stops running, regret will hit her. But by then, you've changed. You are no longer the same person. You no longer need her validation. You no longer seek her approval. You no longer care about her absence, because you've used this time to grow, to strengthen your mind, to build a solid life, not to prove anything, but for yourself. Your absence is power. The rarer something is, the more valuable it becomes. And when you disappear completely, you leave behind a void that isn't easily filled. And that's when she finally realizes what she lost. But when she looks for the man who once suffered over her, she'll discover a brutal truth: you don't want her anymore. Revenge is not the answer. Revenge is just another form of attachment, because if you're still trying to prove something, you're still trapped in her game. A truly strong man doesn't need validation. He lives for himself. And that, more than anything else, is what makes her regret the most. True freedom is not caring. When you don't need anyone to feel whole, when you control your emotions, you control everything. Because a man who doesn't chase, a man who doesn't wait, a man who doesn't try to prove anything, that's a man no one can touch. So walk away. Not to make her regret, not as a strategy. Walk away because you finally recognize your worth. And when you truly move on, you'll realize you never needed her to be happy in the first place. So here we are. You've seen the truth. You've felt the shift. And now you have a choice. Stay the same, or step into the most powerful version of yourself. No more wondering, what if? Will she ever come back? Does she miss me? Because from the very beginning, this was never about her. It was never about making her regret. It was never about proving something. It was never about waiting for the day she realizes what she lost. This was always about you, about breaking free, about mastering your emotions, so that no one, not her, not anyone, can ever control you again. That is Stoicism. That is real strength. It's not loud. It's not desperate. It's not about proving anything. It's a quiet, unshakable presence, moving through life with absolute certainty. And the moment you embody that, you don't chase. You don't wait. You don't wonder. You live. So if you're ready, let go of the past. What's done is done. You can't change it. But you can decide what comes next. Your future is in your hands. Focus on the present, the only place where action happens, the only place where you forge your strength. Start now. Hit like, subscribe to Stoic Station, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. I am the master of my destiny. This isn't just a statement, It's a commitment to yourself. This journey won't be easy, but you're not alone. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong in the face of adversity. Be unshakable against life's storms. Stay steadfast on your path to becoming the most powerful version of yourself.